Police chief warns Occupy Vancouver protesters after officers bitten. Now, I know a few people down there that are sidewalk sitters and have been for 2 to 3 years. Never really disturb anybody, contribute to the community in a good way, in the sense that they are a face to say hello to for many people that don't have people to say hello to on the street. And let's look at these kids here. Now, I don't know who these are out of the group that seems to be running the show, but these are not street kids. Bottom line, these are not street kids. Okay, this one has his big boots actually his lace disheveled on one side and stuff, and one done up. Quite a nice jacket, nice red and black hat. They look like university students to me, personally. And I think that this girl over here is one of the main speakers at the GAs. And I can't identify these, but definitely middle class kids, upper middle class kids, kids that definitely not kids living on the street. So anyways, perhaps they were just kicked out, maybe. So that's 4. That's not including Mr. The dread dude, whatever his name is, Sean. Because Sean down here, it says, right at the end here, who is part of this movie production that CBC Radio had an interview about experiencing homelessness by living 5 days on the street in Vancouver and seeing how long they could survive, which was the original intent. And it's a social experiment too, and the director or something, the producer, is a UBC psychology major, I guess, who's a former film school student. So is he using this as a petri dish of experimenting, and as a result has caused, through their experiment, some disastrous occurrences to occur by creating the environment to study? It's very serious. Anyways, Sean McGee says the pro bono lawyer, Michael McCubbin, who I've heard, and he sounds very reasonable. So he says that he is acting pro bono for free for one person, O'Flynn McGee. Okay, so he told Mackenzie that the BCCLA was trying to assemble a group of lawyers that wouldn't be able to come to court until Wednesday. Now they have $7,000+ already in their account, and McGee was going to be one of the signing authorities, and they said his name at a GA, and the girl was like, "Oh, if you have to check his references, just Google him." So I Googled him, of course, and then I got into this whole quagmire of film students and producers and stuff, and it's just pretty disrespectful, completely disrespectful. So how many of these students are down there? I know that there was a lot of UBC students down there, and there was a push in August at UBC, early September, before school started, to come out to communist meetings and anarchist meetings, and it was asking for all the different radical social isms that you could think of for these meetings to have discussions about politics, I guess. So were kids there brought down, because I know that there was UBC students at the first, brought down, and then there was a hardcore group of them that had an intent to continue this filmmaking and are on the controlling aspect of it. Now the reason I said this lawyer thing is the pro bono thing is that there's also another lawyer that has said that he's representing Mr. McGee. So it's interesting that we'll see if they use the money to defend McGee, and if he gets to choose his own lawyer who gets the money for his fees out of the GA funds, and whether or not Kiki or any of those other people, like these kids up here, some of the pipers, I like to call them now, some of the more privileged kids are there when the arrests get made, or is it actually as homeless people that are there thinking that they're supported by all these other homeless people around them, or supported even by affluent kids that have said that they would help them or do whatever, or bonded with them in some way, or at this point I think that they've realized that they can't cut it with most of the people that live on the street and can't relate to them too much, so that they've either left the site or else they're still there functioning at the times they have to be there and in their media tents and stuff like that, but they're basically running the show from that point of view. They're not really letting other people take much control over the actual discussions that go on, and that's been going on for 3 weeks. So it's basically not something to blame on the homeless people, and I see a lot of the right-wing guys and businessmen too. I can understand businessmen's frustration and not understanding what's going on, but they know serious economic issues are coming up and that we're not going to run away from them. Canada's not going to run away from them. We're going to see rising food prices. We're already seeing that. We're going to see more problems in our economy, the veterans' benefits getting cut and stuff like that. Stuff that shouldn't be cut is being cut with such a resourceful country. But this is definitely, this could have been hijacked separately, or these people could have been on the organizing of it at the first. So I don't want to see any homeless people get hurt. I don't want people in kits and, South Van and stuff and North Van and stuff like that to blame all homeless people for squatting the art gallery, because whoever creates the conducive environment for it to occur is the one that's going to draw in that element anyways. And it's not to blame the people that are taking advantage of the opportunity to eat and stuff like that, because these kids should have set up their Occupy down at, Hastings Street, down there in front of the bottle depot or something like that, and proven that they could actually live there and actually enhance that community, start interacting with those people and giving them hope and, encouragement, rather than, fanning the frustration and angst towards authority that they perceive from Hollywood and all of this kind of thing. In the U.S., which is a completely different story with protests, they're standing and they're being arrested. It's a whole different, thing. So that's my take on it. I think that these are some misguided middle-class kids and their parents.